Hello everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Here we are wearing, as you can see, my favorite Cerveza bug shirt in olive drab green. Folks, the colors I wear oftentimes have meaning. And in this case, olive drab is a combat color. We're in conflict. The title of this is SHTF for Slaves. Will you submit? Folks, we're in an information war. Again, the word information shouldn't take away from the fact that it's a war. We're in a psychological operation, PSYOP. Just because it's about psychology doesn't mean the operation isn't operational warfare. It is a battle over information and how you think, the psychology. How do you think about the information that's being used to commit an act of war against us, the people of the United States and of the world? The psychological operation and the information war is more than just Cerveza bug. That said, right, it is about law, military, finance, the economy in general, education. It's about everything. It encompasses everything. And now we even have Dr. Peter Navarro of the Trump administration, cabinet member level, saying it's everything. The same as you and I have been discussing, right? I am the prophet of prepping in the sense, not a religious prophet, but a teacher, an instructor, because you guys instruct me and I gather all the information and then I share it back with everyone, right? I get a little information from this group, a little from that group, and then pow, we share it and we talk about it. Spread this information, folks. SHTF is for slaves, not for the rich, not for the powerful. It is for us slaves. The Omicron variant, we're going to be lied to about incessantly. I will not submit to it. I will not be scared. I will not be a slave. You can control people with violence or fear. One costs a lot more money and isn't certain. The other one, if they can use fear to control us, has very certain outcomes, always though with the threat of violence. Now, let us continue. This is a war. This color I have chosen for my Cerveza bug shirt is adequate and proper because we're in a psychological war. We're in an information war. And what they're doing as part of the psychology is to condition us to accept our slavery. And I have been saying all along for many months, if not years, prep to action. That's what I've been pointing to always. Get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense for you and your family and your group and your neighborhood, your community, your city, that 10-mile radius around you. Wouldn't it be great if everyone was prepared with that food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, so that they're protected, so that they're insulated? At the very least, they have some help, some assistance that doesn't require outside or political intervention and help. We need to be secure from these people, right? That's being prepared, but being prepared psychologically to understand what it is they're up to gives us an additional advantage, and we should take that advantage and use it. And that's why I say prep to action. Call local, call state, call federal, text, call, write, email, fill out forms, and let these people know how you think. And I love it that parents, and I want to point to parents around the country, have had enough of this educational fascism, this psychological abuse of their children, and they're going to school board meetings and going, what are you doing here, right? You are not going to corrupt our children with this crap anymore. And they're fighting back. They are engaged in the information war and the psychological war. Are you? Are you prepared and are you prepping to action? I'm going to let you know what has happened just in the last couple of days. And I want to point to it and show you folks that SHTF is not for the elite. It's for the slaves. In Austria, leaders there, including the chancellor. And I hate to refer to the leader of any country, especially Austria and Germany, as chancellors, because that's what Hitler started out as, chancellor. They should have gotten rid of that term a long time ago. And I know that it's also used in England, right? The chancellor. It's just another bureaucratic or elected official title of nobility they give themselves. But the Chancellor Schallenberg is seen at a massive party, folks, without his mask after putting his country in another lockdown. They're locking down certain countries, and Austria is out front, along with Australia. You might want to look up what Australia means. The same way there's a meaning to the word Colombia. Colombian, District of Columbia, Columbia Pictures, Columbine High School, Columbia, Christopher Columbus. I believe that wasn't his real name. It was kind of a title. While it could be his real name, it was also a title given to him, Columbia. Look that up, and then look up what Austria means. Just a little homework I'm going to give you. Shouldn't take you too long. But here we are, folks. In Austria, they locked down the whole country. In Austria, they are going full-on psychological war against the people, using full-on fear. Again, you can control people with fear or violence. And fear often works best when you get people to voluntarily submit under the threat of violence. Now, the threat of violence, folks, using real violence, violence begets violence. Violence begets combat, conflict, open war, and they don't want that, so they're using fear. The Omicron, the Delta variant, oh my God, cerveza bug. It is so deadly that no one's dying. And it spread so easily that the state of Florida has the lowest number of cases per capita in the United States, and they're what? The most free. How does that work? Because it's not based, folks, on anything other than fear. So the Austrian chancellor is out partying, celebrating at a massive party, maskless, after putting the entire country in a lockdown. What does that tell you, folks? What does that tell you about them? SHTF is for slaves. Slaves like you and slaves like me. They think if we lay down, if we accept it, if we don't take action, if we don't prep to action, you will become a slave to them. Or you can be a prepper and be independent to the maximum that's allowed, independent of their system of control. How do they control us? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. If you don't have those things, they have more control by using fear to get you to obey them. San Francisco, California, San Francisco, one of the big socialist, Democrat, fascist hotspots of the United States. They are in a serious indoor mask mandate lockdown scenario type thing where you have to obey them or you can't do certain things. Well, the mayor of San Francisco, whose name is London Breed, and I try not to make fun of people for do ad hominem attacks, right? Which is to say attacking people for something that really has no place in logic. Well, I don't like the name London Breed. I don't like it. I don't like someone with the first name of a city in a foreign country. I don't like that, right? Breed means fuck or screw. I don't like being screwed by people or bred by them. This person is screwing with everybody. So San Francisco Mayor London Breed is caught out, folks, mingling in an indoor establishment with no mask, dancing and partying while the rest of the city has to follow her indoor mandate. Isn't that just fucking choice? They're hypocrites, folks. They're liars. Now, I guess this was this was a while back, but what I want to say is they always, oh, I forgot. Well, I wasn't thinking about the mandates. I didn't stop, right, to consider it. Yes, they do. They know you don't put on a mask every day if you're part of a lockdown. You don't put on a mask every day as part of a lockdown. without thinking about it. Every time you put it on, you're like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Oh, there's a disease. There's a lockdown mandate, and you put it on. You don't forget that after a while. Kind of like you don't forget your wallet or your car keys when you go driving somewhere, because it becomes part of your routine, part of the control they have over us, part of the slave system. But it seems like the chancellor just seems to forget. It seems like the mayor of San Francisco forgets, the same way Nancy Pelosi just managed to forget while everyone else in San Francisco was locked down, when she went and got her disaster of a face and hair worked on at a beauty salon. It is always rules for thee, little slave, but not for me. The superior leader, you know, like the Führer, the chancellor, the mayor. And let's go so far as to say, well, how about El Presidente? That's right, folks. And I want to bring you, I mean, I pointed back at London Breed. I pointed back at Nancy Pelosi, but let's move forward. Let's move forward. I got a beautiful picture of Joe Biden, President Gigi, Joe Biden, Mr. Poopy Pants. Let's go, Brandon. Inside of a store with no mask. And the beauty of this is the person who took the picture got Joe Biden's maskless face right next to, shining through the window of the store, and a sign, a huge sign. It's probably 12 to 18 inches wide. It shows the picture of a face in shadow and a white mask. It says required face covering. And Joe Biden's in the fucking store with other adults who are wearing masks, and he is not. It's SHTF for slaves like you and me. This is a psychological war, and what they're doing is conditioning us to accept the fact that they will not wear masks, and we can't do anything about it. And they can wear masks and use fear, and then also the threat of force and violence and fines against you. This is the game, folks. This is part of the war. Are you going to allow yourself to be locked down? Are you going to require yourself to be tested to do anything? Are you going to require yourself to be stopped and told to put on a mask? Are you going to let Karens yell at you? Are you going to shrink and shrivel and cower before lies? If they can make you obey and act in fear over a lie, what will they be able to do with you when someone's in your face? And what will they be able to do to you with the threat of force? Once again, you're obeying a lie, then you'll definitely obey a command coming from a Karen. And if you obey a command coming from a Karen, there is no doubt you'll take a knee or two before someone with a gun. Someone standing at your door telling you to roll up your sleeve because they're going to put something under your skin and use a syringe to do it. Is that the case? Are you going to submit? I got an email last night after the zoo from a trusted source, that is someone who is always on the ball, and says someone that they know personally, right? This is not bullshit, folks. They're going door to door in other countries. And the threat of that door to door is you don't know who's on the other side of the door. Are they going to be there to check a health and welfare check? No, they're also standing at the door saying, you have not gotten your Jim Jones juice. Guess what? We're here to give it to you right now. And people in Australia, folks, people in Europe are getting that. What countries? You know, again, do I have CNN with a news story showing it? No, they won't show it. Do I have people on ABC, NBC, CBS saying, look at what's happening? They're showing it. No, but I'm getting reports, folks. In Australia, I've got reports of in Europe, people, they answer the door and they're being forced to take the Jim Jones juice. Sometimes they're just asking. Other times they're just saying, we're here to inform you about the good stuff. Other times they're there to say, we would like to give it to you right now if you're interested. And still yet, I'm getting other reports of people saying they're being held down and forced. SHTF is for slaves. Mandates and restrictions are for slaves. Masks are for slaves. And tell you what, folks, I am extremely frustrated. I'm frustrated with the system of using psychological battery on children, on adults, on free people. It is psychological abuse, which is a form of torture, which is against the law, the same as it is against the law to use duress or coercion to force people to do something that otherwise they would say no to. That people are not being fully informed of what's going on, that this is a giant lie. And that is why this will result ultimately in fighting. Police are refusing, folks. Number one, a fireman has wiped his ass publicly with a mandate. These are government people who see the power and abuse, and some are part of it. But they see it and they know it and they understand it. Doctors and nurses and other medical professionals are saying, no thanks. They're on the inside, folks. If anyone can be an insider without being in the Joe Biden or the Chancellor Hitler, that circle, or the Mayor London Breed circle, these people are working with it every day, from first responders to medical professionals, and they see how dangerous this shit is. I'm putting all the reports that I get that I find to be really instructive on Patreon. So get to Patreon, $2 a month, 7 cents a day. Bam, you get all of these reports, video reports, written reports, websites that have information as to why this Omicron, Delta variant, cerveza bug madness, it's information you need. Once you get it, it's kind of hard to not think about it. In other words, it bolsters your belief system because it's coming from factual sources. It's information. You can choose to disregard it or say, you know, I'm not going to give that the weight that it should, but I'm doing that with ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, CNN, PBS, C-SPAN, political commentary, you name it. I'm getting their information and going, you know what? That don't look too good. That's the official sources they're telling me, trying to use fear and coercion to get me to do something that's against my better interest. The further we get into SHTF, the more it's going to be this color. The more people are going to realize this is combat. This is mental combat. They're combating your mentality. They want to get as many people on their in their corral. They want as many sheep corralled as possible. Or you could say as many people put into that mental concentration camp, that mental prison where they can't escape, where they have submitted. They have submitted and now they're trapped. They're trapped with fear and they've been, you bet, they've been zapped with Jim Jones juice and they're trapped. Are you going to allow yourself to be trapped? They're slaves now, folks. They're in a prison, a mental prison, a prison for their mind. Are you going to allow that? Or are you going to stand up for yourself and prep to action? Are you going to stand up for your children and prep to action? Your grandchildren, for the good of your city, state, country. It is time to take action. It is time that we all stop being scared. Period. Period. We need to stop being afraid of what other people think. Stop being afraid of what other people see when they look at us and our actions. Am I saying commit crimes? No. Am I saying do anything harmful or dangerous? No, do not. Do not do anything that is unlawful, but stand up for your rights. Not only stand up for your rights, but utilize them, employ them, whatever term you want. Exercise your rights, your First Amendment, your Second Amendment, your Fourth, Fifth. You can exercise all your rights. See, they're going to threaten you. They're going to threaten me. They're already doing it. And they're also showing us Joe Biden, no mask. Nancy Pelosi, no mask. Obama, no mask. At parties with no mask, partying with themselves. The elite being the elite, whether it's here in the US or in Austria or Australia where their leaders were caught with no masks after locking everyone down. Folks, understand, this is a sham. It's a sham. Shouldn't 80-plus-year-old Joe Biden, shouldn't he be damned afraid of getting the cerveza bug? Because it is deadly to people in his age group. It's far more deadly. It's not like, stepping on a landmine deadly, but it is more deadly. He is more at risk than everyone else. If the masks work, he should be wearing them. Maybe he knows. It don't matter. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. It's just like the common cold. Just like anything else we go through life, not being fearful. I did talk to someone this weekend who said the husband, the man of the house, was deathly ill with cerveza bug. And everyone in the house, mother, children, that's right, I have pronouns for the people according to their genders, the mother and the children, they continued. In fact, they got tested and never came down with it, even though the dad was, he was one of the people that was like, this sucks, I hate this, had like real flu symptoms. Yeah, and that's how it works, folks. It either gets you or it doesn't. But it's not the world killer that they told us it was. It is a psychological operation. It is a medical psychological operation against us. It is a medical information war against us, combined with all other aspects, all other facets, as Dr. Peter Navarro of the Trump administration has told us now. It's interesting, folks, that he is joining us, me and you. That's right, he. It is coming down to it, folks, where we're now seeing an attack by Dr. Fauci directly against a U.S. senator on national news, thumbing his nose at you, me, and all power, because he believes the power he is exercising and authorized to work under allows him that luxury. That's right, little Dr. Doom himself. And so we're going to continue to see a split, folks. It's not just a bifurcation. There's a fucking gulf between freedom and not. It is no longer, well, it's just a little bit. You're only going to give up a few of your privileges or your rights. It is huge, folks. The difference between me acting free, saying what I want, being able to protect myself, doing what I want. There's a huge difference between that and people who have to wear a mask and stay in their home unless they're allowed out, who have to go and get whatever Jim Jones juice they demand, and then whatever booster juice they demand, and then follow whatever they are told, and then aren't allowed to speak up or act on their own behalf in any manner because they are now slaves. Am I angry? Am I out of control? No. Am I speaking authoritatively? Yes, because I've been in this shit forever with you, and I've been paying attention forever, just like you. And I'm immersed in this, all of these facts. And I am strong enough mentally to wade through it, to pick out the garbage and throw it away and say, I'm not buying that. I'm not believing that. But this information here is valuable and useful because it's consistent. It's consistent and it's consistent. There is one thing that is consistent through all of this, folks, through all of the shit we're going through. There's one thing that's consistent. And that is that government lies, and that freedom, our liberties, destroying them is the agenda, and that they're continually pushing in that direction and telling us it's for our own good. Those things are consistent. Their reason to do what they're doing, to create their lies, to push their story, and to demand we give up our rights, is unsupported. At the beginning, all the way till now, it's still unsupported. It's still a bunch of lies, and it's still patently obvious. It is all lies, and it's all to enslave the world. And this isn't the first time, folks, but this is the first time we have been at war. This is a world war. It's a world war, folks. without bullets being fired, without tanks crushing buildings, without planes bombing cities. We're at war. Period. Is this scare? Is this fear porn by John? No, it's not. It's facts. Look it up. This is facts. Absolute facts. Or you could say it's absolutely just information. And I ask you, I tell you, look it all up yourself. And that's why I want to provide all the information on Patreon. So you can look it up for yourself. You can decide for yourself. You can see for yourself what is true and what is not. I recommend doing it. It's your life. They're your rights. It's your family. It's your country. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit back and allow this? Or are you going to finally step up and go, I'm going to take the 15 minutes to 30 minutes to find some elected politicians and give them a piece of my mind. Not an act of violence, no threats, but tell them what you believe and what you expect of them. And the more they hear that, folks, the more they realize we're on to them. And we see through their psychological operations. And the more they understand, we will not be slaves. We're not going to get in that pen with the sheep. Are they going to know who you are? Folks, they're going to know who you are anyways. They're going to have a big list on a computer. Oh, we see that you, John Q. Smith, have not gotten the Jim Jones juice. You have no passport. You're not in the system. What's wrong with you, John Q. Jones? Why aren't you over here with 65% of the population? Why are you, right? And they'll separate you off from everyone else and then make you explain yourself. That's why they come to your door. They want to do that. They want to make you feel stupid. They want to badger and bully you. They want to make you feel bad. They want to threaten you individually. Understand you're part of a group of free people. Whether that number is 20 or 30 or 40% of your city, state, or country, you're a member of a large group who believes that you should be free and make your own decisions, that you don't need their Jim Jones juice. Whether you're alone or standing in a group of people, you have that same backing, right? Well, let's use one of their terms. We're all in this together. Well, sink or fucking swim. And you better start paddling, right? We all have to pull our own weight. We all need to get prepared because chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. Folks, Godspeed to you and us all. God bless America and those who love liberty. Semper Fi. Understand we're in a state of information war. Information war, folks. It's psychological warfare. And they're coming for us all. They're not going to quit. And they're going to push it as we go through the Christmas season. And they're going to push their lies even harder. It's coming. I promise. It's coming. They're not going to quit. They're not going to go away. They want you to submit, little slave. It's always, always about freedom.